I'm not really sure what's gone on. Plenty of ejections. Nate Mondou, catcher Kevin Plawecki, and Pete Zamora, the manager for
Hey y'all, it's Lindsay with a game management video. We have 3 ejections at the same time during a minor league game. Let's talk about what led up to it, what happened, and what you can do. Stolen base attempt, umpire says safe, fielder wants an out. He even goes up to his ears with the hands like, hey, I want a replay review. One problem, even though you'd say, oh yeah, it's on the list, it's a tag play, simple. AAA does not have replay review. So let's get this straight. Let's stipulate this up front. AAA has automated ball strikes and or challenge and or nothing system, but they do not have replay review on the bases.
It goes back to a stolen base call at second base that El Paso was unhappy with. Jose Barrero stole second.
To review, the umpire calls the runner safe, fielder wants an out. Umpire entertains a brief argument but walks away. He is not going to change that call. There's no replay. There's no one to go to. The call was made, and at some point you have to move on. The major and minor leagues have separate umpire manuals that are similar yet different enough that it's notable. What I like to say is the minor league manual micromanages umpires a lot more than the major league one does. And there's a reason for that. Minor league, you're still developing umpires all the way down from rookie ball to AAA. Whereas in the majors, you expect they know everything when they get there. And so what we have is a minor league instruction that says, avoid warning too soon. The majors doesn't have that line. And so you don't want to just go out there and warn a player and say, hey, stop, with the stop sign on everything. But I think part of the complication as well is the pitch clock wants you to move on as well. So you have to keep the game moving because you're on the clock. So the game management tools are a little bit abbreviated to what you would usually do, which might be to let them feel like they have been heard. You know that you're not going to change the call, but let them feel like they've been heard. The manager comes out to stick up for his player.
And Pete Zamora, the manager for El Paso.
What I found amusing about all of these is the cordialities that occur in the plate meeting. And the plate meeting is a wonderful opportunity before the game to sort of lay some ground rules, not just for the stadium, but for what you're going to put up in terms of sportsmanship as well. This one is a more drawn-out dialogue, which is totally fine, lets the manager have his say, and we should be able to move on after that. And if anyone is going to continue to bring it up after being warned to stop arguing that play, they should be thrown out. Which is exactly what happens when the single scores the run and the defensive team just can't let it go.
For El Paso, we're all just ejected.
This is a slam dunk ejection. Catcher is ejected because he kind of lost his mind. So did the middle infielder. The manager gets a little more leeway, but as soon as he brings up that play at second that he already argued, he has no leeway and he has to go too. Sometimes it is unavoidable and multiple people have to go. This might have been one of those times, but not to worry. 2 days later, we have another ejection in this series.
Era swings a bouncer. Second baseman Mondou goes to second for one. The throw goes to third.
This time a fielder makes the beeline toward the umpire. Could be histrionic gestures or use of profanity since we can't hear what was said. Player makes up a lot of ground to get to the umpire in a short time, angrily pointing the whole time. If you point a finger in my face, I'm throwing you out of a game too. And I think that that's true for most umpires. That would be deemed a histrionic gesture in my book.
The call with Jen Pawol. Here we go again.
Like before we even have a chance to talk about the call, the player has already ejected themselves through their actions. That's rough.
Was Fabian. Ornelas.
This crew has given me more material than any other minor league crew this year. I'm not sure what that says. Other than the ejection bug has found them. We went through all 4 ejections. We found that all 4 of them appear justified. The umpires didn't look to actually provoke anything with language or anything like that. Everyone was just super upset about certain calls. What fans might find a little surprising at umpire camps and things like that, as whether a call is correct or not, is not all that high on the list of what you're evaluating people for. It's weird to say that because at the end of the day, that is super important. But when you are developing umpires, there's a whole bunch of this is where you stand. This is how you rim or how you work wedge or other techniques about positioning to get into position to make the correct call. But this video is about game management, which is a huge part of the sport, handling situations. And unfortunately, when a player runs at you full speed with the finger in your face, there's not much you can do. about that ejection. Visit us online at closecallsports.com. Like, subscribe. We'll see you on the site.